Sometime later, after the initial shock had worn away a little, Kathy sat on the deck of the observatory staring out at the night sky, attempting to control her mixed feelings. Soft footsteps carried through the cool night breeze, and slowly a figure sat down beside her.
You know, it's not as you think, Kathy.
It was Night Shadow. What did he want?
You see, after your escape from Mr. Hax, I told Adam that he had to tell you something in light of what Mr. Hax confessed to us. Something deeply important. It would be incredibly painful for you, but it had to be out in the open. However, after, you probably wouldn't be able to handle the case. The trauma of your past combined with the latest knowledge, and still going after Hax, would probably break you as a person.
Kathy kept looking away, bitter still, a tear struggling to let itself free, but she managed to force it back. She wasn't broken yet.
The reason he asked you to leave was because he wanted to spare you that pain.
She glanced sideways at the older man, but didn't dare try to speak. Her words would be choked, and the tears would certainly flow.
You see, Adam told me about you. Told me how much you were like him. A true believer in justice. That I could train you as well as I trained him. Probably better. That you had a realistic life view, and less of that ha-ha idealistic tendencies that he has, and how much better you could be than he.
She looked to Night Shadow. The man was gazing off into the starry night.
He has wanted you on the team since day one.
He glanced back at her.
But you see, tonight, Adam had a choice. He's a bright boy. He had already guessed the reason you don't like heroes had to do with what I told him to tell you. He'd already guessed that it had made you who you are today, more or less. He wanted you to go on like you were, as much of a champion of truth that he is. He wanted to spare you that pain, the burden. That was why he asked you to leave tonight. That and the danger. He didn't want to have to ask you to fight as well.
Kathy looked away again. Her anger left.
It's amazing, really. You can mercilessly fight endless hordes of the worst scum the world has to offer. You can take on supervillains and fight the whole world if you have to. But even then, hard conversations with your loved ones still aren't easy.
She looked back at Night Shadow, expecting him to return the glance, and give one of those fatherly smiles. But instead, he was again gazing off into the star-filled night, as if visiting some painful memory of his own. Then he did turn, and gave that smile, but there was an underlying mist lingering in his eyes.
The lair is yours as well now. You and Adam are partners. I shall train you as I have trained him. Welcome.
Then he rose and walked away. Kathy noted he seemed older than she had ever seen him as he walked back inside.
"This will sting. I won't lie about it,"
Kathy said as she finished threading the needle and began the careful task of stitching up Adam's wounded arm.
"I can't believe I was caught so off guard by her axe."
Adam said, wincing as the sharp point went in for the first suture.
"It happens to everyone,"
Kathy said in a reassuring tone. He looked at the floor.
"Not to me."
For a while there was silence. Adam mentally recounted the night's events while Kathy focused on her needle.
"You know, you saved my life back there,"
Adam said quietly when the last stitch was secure. Kathy looked at him.
"Just returning the favor."
She smiled.
No, I thought I was supposed to be the hero.
He joked.
You still are, but every good hero's got a sidekick, right?
Sidekick?
No.
Adam extended his hand as best he could.
Partners.
Partners,
Kathy repeated, but didn't shake his hand.
Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, more heroes means more villains, right?
Her words triggered something, and for the first time Adam was beginning to understand Kathy Maple.
Is that what you think?
He said.
That bad guys only come if the hero's already present?
Kathy's eyes lost a bit of the sparkle they had held seconds before.
That's what happened with the Spark. He wanted to challenge. He publicly announced that the common thief was no match for him, that he wanted something more.
She paused. This was a touchy subject, but they both knew it would have to be discussed, and now was as good a time as any.
He's the reason Mayhem came here, the reason we're fighting him now, the reason for those stitches in your arm.
Adam thought for a moment, not sure how to respond.
Do you believe that?
He asked.
I wish I didn't,
Kathy said, sadly. Adam looked at her, studied her. He knew what he had to say, but how was he to say it? We're friends, he thought. We're partners. She saved my life. I have to tell her, even if it turns everything she knows upside down. He took a breath.
It's interesting you say the Spark is Mayhem's reason for being.
She looked at him, silently waiting for him to finish.
I didn't tell you before because I wasn't sure I needed to. You just had told me about your brother and I didn't want to cause any more pain.
He paused. He watched as her eyes widened, but she did not speak.
The Spark didn't attract Mayhem. They're the same. It's just Rax. It was him the whole time. And he's always been a villain. And the only way to curb evil is with an equal or greater force. I promise you this, friend. There won't be more evil when we're done with it. There'll be less. A lot less.
And with a confident, fierce look in his eyes, he held out his hand, offering to clasp hers in a warrior's grip. And she returned it. Later, in an alleyway, an obviously dressed individual held a knife blade up to a filthy woman's face.
Oh, Dad? All you have for me?
Please, DeJohn, I can get more. I promise.
That's what you said last week. Now you get the knife.
No, please.
The pimp slid the knife up the lady's left nostril without cutting anything yet, and drank in her terror as she anticipated what would happen next.
Hey.
A small female voice came from behind. The pimp, caught, slid the knife down slowly and turned his head just as smoothly to see who had seen what and just how much. And there was a woman there. She had a mask on. He smiled his crooked grin and exposed all his gold teeth as he let go of his other slave and approached this new prospect.
Hey, baby, you looking for something? A good time, maybe? Or maybe some work? That's a nice outfit you got on. I can find you some folks that'll pay good money for it, if you know what I mean.
And the masked woman held out her fist. The evil man looked at it curiously, and with a hint of alert as he stepped closer to her. But before he could react, she dropped it at his feet, and it detonated into a gas that made his eyes sting and his nose burn.
Gawk!
But before he could cough and sputter any more, he suddenly found his crotch smashed with a foot, and then his head bashed into a light pole. Blue did the tying, and Knightengale handed the frightened lady info on how to escape her situation and where to go for help. The wicked man later awoke, tied to an AC unit outside the police station, with his phone unlocked and a note tied to himself. The cop standing in front of him stared at him with some disdain, and grabbed the cellular device and scrolled through the folders immediately pulled up.
You know,
That's some sick stuff. Maybe you shouldn't have posed in all these photos.
That ain't mine!
Funny, his partner said.
This looks like it actually has your name written on it.
And your business cards. And your apps for contacting your girls. And your pay ledgers. The other cop cleared his throat real fast. And your apps for contacting your younger ladies. He cleared it again.
Oh, crap.
And your younger boys? That's it, untie him. Boy, you're gonna get a very bad part of jail.